Hi, my name is Al Green. Not that one, but the struggling guy who was in the music industry for years trying to sell talent and songs to agents. The agents befriended me and taught me techniques that I want to pass on to you through my program, which is called You Can Talk, You Can Sell. Anyone who has ever taken this program has excelled in selling and either risen to the top of their company, their team, or the top of their field. It's called You Can Talk, You Can Sell, and you can get it right here. You have to have an attitude of believing in your own capabilities. That's one of the things that makes a top salesperson a top salesperson. They believe in their own capabilities and what they can do. They set a goal and they go for it, and they don't stop until they know darn well that they're on way to their goal. There's a point where, for example, you've heard about being at the point of no return. That works in the positive direction too. When you set a goal, let's say, for example, as an arbitrary number, your goal is to hit 10 units, whatever that sales unit might be. When you're at 9 and you only have 1 left to go and there's 2 weeks left in the month, you think you can get that last one. That's kind of like the point of no return. You have to have a can-do attitude. You have to be positive and make sure that you believe in yourself enough to do it. Years ago, when I worked for a sales manager who watched a lot of salespeople that were falling short of their goals, and I was setting a higher goal for myself than was even required by the company, and my boss said to me, "How can you set such a high goal?" And it was very simple. I was very excited to tell him, you have to believe in your own capabilities. You've got to believe that you can do it, and you have to set a can-do mindset. Otherwise, you become addicted to what is called stinking thinking, an old term that's been used and bandied about for years by a lot of sales trainers and also life coaches. You don't want to be addicted to telling yourself the negative, and a lot of people like to do it. They think they're smarter if they go negative. They're the ones that supposedly can see the hole in the formula. And that's not what this is all about. To be a positive person is perfect for a salesperson, because when you set your goal higher and you reach, it's like they say, if you shoot for the stars, you'll hit the moon. At least. So the idea is to set a goal that is so lofty, not that it's unrealistic, but gets you higher than your normal average goal. When I was working, I had to set a goal of 100 of these sales units per month. And I would set my goal for 150. And I would often hit 160. Why does that work? Because if you can picture the end result of any goal, any sales month, any sales week, any sales customer, any customer you think you can land, if you picture the end result, you're halfway to getting there. It's just a matter of doing the work. Because if it's not going to happen, you usually can't even see a picture of it. A lot of what you do is up here, but most of everything you do is right here. You have to have heart, which means you totally believe in it. You have to totally believe in yourself. It's a very simple concept. It's like learning how to tie your shoes. At first, when you're a little kid, you don't quite get it. But then once you get it down, you do it so many times you can do it without looking, without thinking, and it's fine. Unless you're at a generation where you don't even tie shoes, you just put them on, or you wear flip-flops, but that's not what I'm talking about. Okay, let's talk about what's it going to be for you to change and set your goal. When you take my course, which is called the 6-Figure Selling System, based on my book, You Can Talk, You Can Sell, then you're going to be able to see yourself envisioning your goal and finding every way possible to reach there. All of the sales training in the world doesn't get you there. It doesn't really work that way, because this is not a boot camp. This is not a rote way of doing it. You don't have to memorize pitches. It's just a matter of learning how to make the best out of who you are. Be the best person that you can be. Be everything that you have the potential to being. And you're only going to do it by believing in yourself, because guess what's going to happen if you don't believe in yourself? You're going to come out looking like you don't believe in yourself. And that confidence is what a lot of people look for. People love confidence. People love confidence in movie characters, in service people that are going to take care of you, or people who are doing anything at all where they're being observed. Now, a salesperson is obviously being observed, especially since they're making a presentation. Sales, folks, is not only about presentation. It's about talking. It's about listening. Listening is one of the crucial steps that can be a mistake if you don't use it. And what happens when you don't listen? You probably have a tendency to overtalk. And what happens when you overtalk? Let me tell you what happens. The ear goes asleep. It goes to sleep because it's hearing this droning going on that sounds like a big wind. It's just not even talking. It's just like when you fall asleep with the TV on, there's a point where the talking in the background doesn't even matter. It's just noise. A lot of times people do that to lull themselves to sleep, or they sleep with the radio on, or music. Not everybody listens to music the way that people who really love music do. Musicians listen to music differently, and people that are dancers listen to music differently. Artists even listen to music differently. Well, what happens when you're talking? Are you paying attention to what I'm saying? Am I making sense? If I'm not, you can rewind and watch this video again. I'll tell you why. Because the most important thing you can do is pay attention. In fact, if most people paid attention in life, there would be fewer accidents, fewer things to go wrong. It's like years ago, there was a famous tire company that had a brand of tire that was having blowouts, and it was causing a lot of problems, including deaths. Somebody in the QC department or the formulation department didn't pay attention. It's not that the salesman didn't pay attention. It's the company didn't pay attention. When you are talking, don't you want your customer to pay attention to you? Well, there's a series of questions you can talk to the customer to get them engaged. And good salesmanship is not about persuasive talking so that you talk people into buying things. That's not what you do. It's all about talking and communicating and finding out what moves the customer, what moves them. A very simple thing that I found, which was an actual technique used that I tried on people that were kind of stoic and didn't talk. I'd say, you know what, just as outside of a question, just can I ask you a question? And I'd ask them, what's your favorite dessert? And I would always get an answer. I never had anybody that said I don't like dessert. They'd say something, and it could be anything from crackers and cheese to ice cream or cake or pumpkin pie, whatever it might be. But interesting, I always got an answer. Because we all have to eat, and we all usually have some kind of partaking in dessert. Not all the time, not at every meal, but we do it. So what's the thing that's going on in the mind of the person when you're doing the talking? Because they're hearing you talk all the way up here, and they hear this thing, this droning voice going on, and then all of a sudden, when you bring it down and you get personal on a level that's perfectly safe, I don't mean to invade anybody's privacy, but talking to them to find out what they're all about. If you go into an office, a professional office, and you see pictures of kids or a family in a picture frame, I would always ask, and I learned this from one of the top salespeople, is this your family? And they go, of course it's my family. Well, I don't know if it's, I mean, this could be you and your kids' friends. No, those are all my kids, or those are all, this is my spouse or whatever. But I'll ask them questions that are not stupid, but it's very simple. Learn to pay attention, because when you pay attention, the ears are hearing. But when you're asking questions and they're talking, then the heart is hearing. And when you engage their heart, you engage the customer, they're more likely to buy from you. Number one, if they feel comfortable with you. Number two, if they feel that confident in you, like you know what you're talking about, and you can help them solve whatever it is they want solved, whether it's directing them to something they want out of life or whatever. So, for example, one time I've been a customer myself. One time I was buying, and a salesman came over, and he pointed me to a sale that was going on of something that I wanted to buy. I said, you got to be kidding. And I went to this place. I picked up the object of my desire for an incredibly good price. And guess what I thought when I was done? Man, if it wasn't for that salesman, I probably wouldn't have been able to land this deal. As a result of that, next time he came around and he wanted to sell me something or upgrade, I was willing to listen. He opened me up. He also took an interest in the things that I had around my office. And he asked me, are you interested in this? Are you interested in that? And I had signs of things that I was collecting at the time. And he asked me a couple questions that were just geared to get me talking. But you know what? It really, really worked. It really, really worked. Now, isn't that what you want to do? You want to get your customer talking, and you want to be on the up and up with making sure that what your customer is doing is making a communication with you so that you can identify and they can identify with you. That's one of the key factors here. You'll learn that. Join me in my six-figure selling system. The website to register will be listed in the description below. And I ask that you like this video and join me, and I'll look forward to seeing you there.